Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we're going to be taking a look at the developer feedback number 4, which is kind of a weird way of saying that, but we'll stick with it because that's how it's written. It was just released about, I think, 12 or 13 hours ago as of recording, so there's, I think, 7 questions that were asked along with answers provided by the devs. We're going to go through each 7, we're going to read them all, and I'm going to give you my feedback and my thoughts on each one, and we'll see where this goes. Let's start with number 1, which is, it's too difficult to increase to 1.5 million power in 7 days in the Royal Rankings event. Dev response, this event might be too difficult for some lords, keyword some lords, to increase their power at the beginning of the season reset. By some lords, we means AKA spenders / first free to play. Since relying solely on training troops seems more challenging compared to newer servers, we are working on a new power-up event to eventually replace the Royal Rankings event upon season reset. Be sure to look out for that in the future update. Okay, so this, I will say, if they're planning to kind of I don't want to say redo, but maybe readjust the way that the power-up event, because you have to think about it like this. If you are trying to power up in season 2 or season 1.5 plus, and then, or sorry, 1.1 plus, and then you're thinking about just any, or just generally a season reset, you're going to be stronger each reset. Over a period of time, you'll eventually be to where your max building level, your max research level, and the probably biggest power impact that you have outside of heroes and artifacts is going to be training troops. So, you know, it's not as though you have a plethora of options on different ways to power up, right? So, you know, I wouldn't even be mad if they did something like they do for SLE, maybe just aside from the kill event, and, you know, then maybe switch up the building and the research power, but just something that maybe is a little bit more in line with players on average being stronger from each season to the next. But if they're looking to do something different, excited to see what that'll be. Number 2, when troops pass by cities or alliance buildings, their marching speed is very slow. Dev response, the issue has been optimized in version 1.0.17. We have optimized collision mode as it does not affect marching speed during chasing or retreating around cities. Yes, this did come out. I was actually really in favor of this change. I like the idea of units not being able to kind of ghost through each other and essentially stopping when they connect. And when it came to them making this adjustment so that way you wouldn't have this kind of random slow effect around cities, I was a fan of it. Number 3, the end of the season is quite boring, especially when reaching the final chapter where the situation on the map has been determined and there isn't much to do. So this is where, and this is such a big topic, and I'm going to really just try and simplify this one. It's all about kind of putting yourself in the right mindset. Bear in mind, if you, which to be fair, if you're not a heavy spender, I mean, it may be mid-spender, but we'll just say heavy spender to say it somewhat within that kind of 1% range. And you have not maxed out all your buildings, you haven't maxed out all your tech, you're still working on trying to get your VIP as high as you can, you are working on optimizing your heroes and your artifacts, or you're trying to, you know, efficiently max, you know, min-max some here and there, you really, it's not as though it's boring. It's that, and bear in mind, when I see people say stuff like this, the immediate thing that comes to my head is, okay, you're just someone who probably wants to go out there and fight. In most cases, right? Maybe there's some that are factored into that where it's, oh, maybe there's just not enough events, right? Okay, so I'll take that. I'll take 2 sides of it. One side, sure, could there be some more events, maybe some more AVA type of engaging events between alliances or other things for that matter? Sure, I think those will come with time. And the second part is that you have people, which I believe is really the majority, for specifically people that say stuff like this, that really just want to fight more, right? They just want a PvP, but understanding that it's like a want versus a need. You want to, but do you need to? Like, does your kingdom need to? Does every single member in your alliance need to, right? And in most cases, when you're talking about the overall population, they just don't want to go out there and have lawless PvP. It's just a fact. We've done studies on this. We've done data on this. I'll actually be doing something on this too as well coming up in the future. So these are things that are, wait, please. And so these are things that players hopefully should really understand, and more so putting yourself in the right mindset on what you still have to work towards, right? Because I can tell you, and the majority of the time, when I hear people say this is because they haven't maxed out their buildings yet, they haven't maxed out their tech, and they just want to go, like, dude, that is something you can work on, right? That is an achievable, attainable thing that is not boring. That's something you have to do every day and constantly be paying attention to. Like, if you're trying to min-max your gatherers, where you're setting them out the moment that they come back in, right? You're participating in every event and always trying to max out every event, right? You're constantly paying attention to how much farther you can get in Dragon Trail. You're paying attention to the highest Darkling that you can hit with your heroes. Right? You are being efficient, essentially, in every aspect. And again, I'm just highlighting a few things here, but you're being efficient where you're trying to min-max for that 100% grind in every area and every opportunity that arises. If you're not doing those things, then in my opinion, you just shouldn't be saying that it's boring, right? It's really about shifting your mindset to understand what's important. Really the most important thing, and I'm not taking away someone's view of saying, oh, well, it's boring. Sure, maybe it is boring to you. My point overall is that there are things that you could still work towards that are not boring. Right? They are things, boring is subjective, so I'm just speaking and using that specific terminology for this point, for these points, I should say, is that working towards those things to where you can eventually get to max level, right? That is that's a fun part of the grind, or let's just say one path of the grind that you're doing, to where once you eventually get to max building and max tech level, PvP becomes that much more fun. Almost anything else really becomes that much more fun, because now you've lowered your amount of outgoing RSS streams that are going out for spending, and now you're able to focus that the incoming RSS, instead of allocating it to those outgoing RSS avenues, now you're focusing it more on PvP RSS avenues. So it's really just an overall benefit. Next one here is going to be number 4. Add an overflow item exchange function. Gold heads, building, research speed ups, treasure fragments, mainly for hero fragments. Thank you for your suggestion. We will consider a solution to the overflow of legendary tokens. Okay. It's not really a yes. It's not really a no. It's more of a limbo political answer. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Next, we have after the production, number 5. After the production of elixir, healing elixir is full, make it so that it will automatically heal the injured troops. Interesting. So you want, once elixir gets to max, whatever that excess is will start automatically healing troops, but then you can still bulk heal with whatever amount that you have stockpiled. I guess it's kind of how I'm reading into it. The response: we have received your feedback and we are currently conducting an internal analysis to identify whether the elixir healing design has created a greater burden on the gameplay for players. In addition, we will expand the gameplay to provide more ways to obtain healing elixir in the upcoming seasons. I mean, excuse me, my view, I think, is pretty in line with, a lot of the OG players when it comes to, I just didn't inherently see anything that was abhorrently wrong with the previous healing system. And from quite a few people I've talked to, they prefer the previous system compared to the current elixir system. Now, bear in mind, I am all for testing things, right? If the devs felt, based on feedback, that this is something. First off, this is my thing. If you're going to try to introduce something, you need to have like a core testing, like beta or internal unit or group that is testing these things, right? Like, even if you use, like, let's say you use the first 100 servers to test things out, or you say, hey, we would love to invite players from these servers on like the beta server, like maybe they make like a beta test server or something, and we say, hey, we'll give you guys max accounts, but we just would love for you guys to test these things. Even something like that would be great. I mean, League of Legends has a beta server. I can't remember if Rocket at one point had a beta server. Someone will have to remind me on that. But there are, even Infinity Kingdom had beta test servers, right? Which we had accounts in, and they would test things out that may be introduced and may not be introduced. But they tested them out. I think the challenge was that if you're going to do something like that, you basically just have to give people like max accounts, right? Like you have to, everything has to be unlockable so they can do everything. Like the fact is, if you're going to make a test server, you don't want to sit there and force players to have to re-level up everything. That is truly boring, right? For my boring guy over there. See how I did that? I know, genius. Next one, create a union chat function. I actually love this idea. We will consider the possibility of designing and implementing a union chat function. Players wish to have the union chat function available for easier communication during early unions and later map development and battles. I think this is a great idea. I think if you form a union with someone, it should open up an immediate union chat between those two alliances. Absolutely love this. I think it's a great idea. Number 7, can we get heroes with engineering talent to obtain experience by constructing alliance buildings? The overall hero experience distribution is in a fair state, as we do not wish to overburden lords with constructing alliance buildings just for the sake of gaining experiences at the moment. We will not consider implementing it. So let me point out here that let me point something out. So I think the dev response here was confused, because what the question is asking is, can we have engineering talent heroes or heroes with engineering talents gain experience from constructing buildings? It's not saying, can we have any hero who goes out to construct a building gaining experience? Very similar to how gatherers can gain experience from talents in the gathering tree. However, the response here says, we do not wish to overburden lords with constructing alliance buildings just for the sake of gaining experience. Now, maybe their answer is specifically tailored to the question. However, because some of the language was not detailed in their answer, how I'm taking their response is they may have interpreted the question as all the heroes and not just the engineering only heroes. So I want to point out, I am not against this. I actually like this idea on how you're almost kind of creating more of a role-based environment, and you're still allowing for those particular heroes to get experience, right? Now, I could understand. So let me give an example. I would be okay if you have a peacekeeping hero that can still get to max level 60 from doing peacekeeping. Same thing with if you have engineers or if you have gatherers, right? And then you have heroes, which we already do in the game, that do not have engineering, they do not have gathering, they do not have peacekeeping. And those are heroes that if you want to keep, the current system in place, where it's like between 50 and 60, you have to go out there and fight to continue leveling them up, which, to be fair, and I always like to say these in as much of a professional, in a respectable manner as possible. I just don't see the point. I don't see the need to add that stipulation and that extra hurdle where they have to go out and do PvP in order for you to take them from 50 all the way to 60. The fact is that people are still going to fight with these heroes regardless. It's not like you putting that in is all of a sudden creating some type of mystery, amazing incentivized reason for these players to use those specific heroes to level them beyond 50. Like, the fact is that if you want to have a longer lasting, more sustainable march, you need more troops in that march. So the basic incentive is already there for you to take your heroes to max level in as fast or as quickly or as efficiently as you can. So it's not as though this is creating. Now, if there's data to show that from the devs side that proves or shows that, oh, well, people were just stopping at 50 and never going to 60, which it would just be baffling to me, because logically it just doesn't make any sense, right? Why players would stop at that level mark or at that threshold and never go beyond that. So again, that's just my view on it. However, that leads us to the end of developer feedback number 4. I would love to hear your thoughts, right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have a different opinion? Right? Is anything on here sticking out to you as far as, hey, I really like this, or you know what, I would maybe do it differently? Let me know in the comments down below. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.